Let's take a live look now over Bellingham, where the sun set right around 4:58 tonight, almost at that 5 p.m. mark. The sun will continue to go down later as you reach spring, which is now 53 days away. Let's go over to Adam Claiborne now. Adam, 53 days seems like a really long time, though.
It kind of does, yeah. And it definitely is going to feel that way when things get much colder here as we go into the weekend. And now there are going to be areas of rain that start to come in first up there around Bellingham. Initially, it looks like we're going to have to deal with some of these patchy areas of fog and some of that mist here closer to Olympia. And then as you go farther west, too, over the Olympic Peninsula. Case in point, here it is right here. Visibility's down under 2 miles for a lot of spots as you go farther to the west. Olympia right now, we're at 1.25 miles. And areas here closer to Puget Sound, we're not dealing with a lot of that as of right now. And it looks like we won't deal with a lot of that. But as we go into the night, winds start to pick up. That will start to knock a lot of this mist and that fog out of here. And then we'll start to replace it with some of those rain chances. Currently, we're sitting at 42. Cloudy skies in Seattle. We got that southeast wind coming in at 8 miles per hour. Expect those to be around maybe 10, 15 miles per hour as we head on into the night. We're at 44 in Tacoma, 42 in Everett. Generally low to mid 40s here across western Washington, and not going to drop a whole lot because of a lot of the clouds that are coming in. Now, satellite and radar picture does show the farther north you go, we do start to see some of those returns showing up on radar, and that is heading southward. We're still about a couple of hours away before we initially start to see some of those light showers returning for areas such as Blaine, Ferndale, around Bellingham, and eventually down there in Skagit County. But it is going to come. Looking at your satellite and radar picture, you can see the wider view shows high pressure now beginning to shift farther to the west, which is going to allow more of the active systems to come through and head down that North American coastline, which is going to help to bring us more active weather here over the next couple of days, as well as bring in more of that air mass off of the continent as opposed to off of the Pacific, which will lead to the cool down. Future radar here tonight, rain coming in 7, 8 o'clock. We're starting to see that farther north initially, then that heads southward, and check out how quickly it gets out of here. 7, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. We're pretty much done with it. Maybe a few sprinkles still left behind, but right here, areas in Thurston, Pierce County, we're not going to get a lot of rain out of this because of the Olympic Mountains and that rain shadow. Then we'll go on into tomorrow afternoon, see a few sun breaks kind of here and there, and then it's on into Saturday morning where we start to see some of these showers returning, and that will fill in as we go deeper on into the day. Front moving on through, and this will be that Arctic front leading that colder area. And as we head on into late Saturday night into early Sunday, maybe right at the tail end of that, we're talking about maybe a few snowflakes mixing in, but no big worries about any sort of major accumulations, even minor accumulations, definitely not expected. Now, looking at what we expect as far as the rain, you can see the farther north you go, we get between about 1/10 of an inch to 1/2 an inch, but those areas where we'll see more of that rain shadow, parts of the Kitsap Peninsula, Mason County, down here around South Sound, little if anything, less than 1/10 of an inch. And then as far as the snow, it is going to be a decent snow producer. We're talking about maybe at least 1/2 foot, and this will be that light and fluffy stuff, which is really nice and fun to get out and play in and to get the skis and the snowboards out into. Here's your forecast. After the rain on Saturday, it's a dry stretch Sunday through Wednesday, but a cold one too, with highs in the 30s, lows in the 20s, back in the 40s by next Wednesday.